Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nazihatul Shima binti Jamli.
My name is Nadiah binti Talib.
My name is Khairunnisa binti Abd Halim.
My name is Nik Adilah binti Nik Adib.
Our topic is about value chain analysis. So let's start now.
Value chain refers to a firm's value-added activities based on its pricing strategy and cost structure, where value-added means that each activity gains value as the product moves from one process to another process. Value chain is also a process of transforming raw materials into finished products. Value chain can be carried out by single firms or by multiple different firms. It is initially used as a guideline in addressing important questions such as what can be the most effective method to develop information that is required for development and production. And value chain can also be global, where in global value chain, the activities are performed through an inter-firm network that is done based on the global scale.
Primary activities are the source of cost advantage because the cost can be easily identified for each activity and properly managed by the management. Meanwhile, secondary activities are the source of the differentiation advantage. The firm will enjoy cost advantage when the total cost of the firm is lower than the market average. Besides, it has opportunities to access low-cost raw materials, innovative process technology, low-cost access to distribution channels or customer, and superior operating management, including exploiting economies of scale in some particular markets. Meanwhile, differentiation advantage occurs when customers perceive that a business unit's product offering high-quality products or services, incurs fewer risks and or outperforms competing product offerings. The firm's ability to deliver goods and services in a timely manner, to produce better quality, to offer the customer a wider range of goods and services, and other factors that provide unique customer value can be identified as differentiation advantage. For the cost advantage, the step 1 is to identify the firm's primary and support activities undertaken, starting from receiving and storing materials until the marketing, selling, and after-sales support in producing goods or services. After that, establish the relative importance of each activity in the total cost of the product, following with identifying cost drivers for each activity. Step 4 is identifying the links between activities that lead to better understanding on how cost improvements will affect the whole value chain, followed by identifying opportunities for reducing costs. Moving on to the differentiation advantage, the first step is to identify the customer's value-creating activities. After that, evaluate the differentiation strategies for improving customer value, such as add more product features, focus on customer service and responsiveness, increase customization, and offer complementary products. The last step is to identify the best sustainable differentiation, in which they might be the result of many interrelated activities and strategies used.
So today I'm going to explain about the benefit of the value chain analysis.
Basically, value chain analysis gives lots of benefit to the company and businesses in many aspects. The first one is value chain analysis can help the company in studying every aspect of sector and also industry, such as production, marketing, technology, and also regulatory development. Not only that, value chain analysis can also improve the flow of the materials and products. The flow of the material and product here means that from the time that the customer made an order to the time that they receive the product. If the company take longer time for their product to get to the customer, it shows that the company is not sufficient in terms of the flow of the product. Apart from the flow of the product, the efficiency of the company can also be measured by looking at the quality of the materials and also the cost that involved in producing the product. Thus, by implementing the value chain analysis in a company, the flow of the materials and also the product can be improved, and it can be done through accurate forecasting of sales and also the demand. By doing so, the company will not have a problem in insufficiency of materials, as the company already forecast the demand of the customer. Besides, value chain analysis can also help the company in terms of producing the product with low cost. This is because value chain analysis can identify which value-creating activities that are profitable and not profitable. They can identify these activities by establishing the cost driver of each process. By producing the cost driver, it allows the company to implement the cost improvement strategy where the company can discover which part with lower cost of raw materials and also innovative process technology. Furthermore, by implementing the value chain analysis in a company, it enables the company to compare the activities with their rival. Comparing the activities with competitors is very important as the company can analyze the differentiation strategy in terms of the product features, marketing channel, and also the pricing. In result, it will help the company to improve their strategy which lead to better overall performance and competitive advantage. In other words, it helps the company to gain better understanding of their key capabilities, how competitors create value, and also identify which areas that need to improve, either it is to extend or outsource particular activities. Basically, differentiation strategy are where the company set their product apart with the competitors' product, but this strategy can only be applied by larger company as larger company have lots of resources to invest in the development of differentiated product. Thus, it will enable the company to put higher prices on their product and also services because their product is different with the competitors in a good way. Moreover, value chain analysis can also help the company to identify the core competencies and also the value generating activities. This is because the company will be able to create the cost advantage by reducing the cost of individual value chain activities and also by reconfiguring the value chain. Cost advantage is actually where the company has the advantage over its competitors in terms of the cost. Meanwhile, for the reconfiguration means that structural changes such as a new production process, new distribution channel, and also different sale approaches.
To implement value chain analysis is not as simple as it looks because there are some challenges when value chain is to be implemented. In brief, there are 3 challenges when implementing value chain, which the first one is structural and asymmetric power relationship, second one interest conflict, and third one is the changes in global production. Challenges of value chain analysis. The first one is the structural and asymmetric power relationship. So, developed countries often compete with each other, especially when the global demand and supply structure keep changing. The changes have led to difficulties in the export-oriented development strategy of these developed countries since they have to change their strategies every time the demand and supply structure change. Second, the actual process of upgrading is complex when it involves various regions, and thus most of the time firms would have difficulties with the upgrade process, and after upgrading completes, it does not give significant benefits to the firm. Next is the interest conflict. Interest conflict occurs when firms would most likely have aligned interests with the dealer interest. This type of interest would allow firms to develop their objective, especially in developing countries. Another interest conflict is between lead firms and local firms, where lead firms are said to always try to reduce the bargaining power of the suppliers by diversifying their supply base. Thus, this action would most likely lead local firms to face bankruptcy. Besides that, when the global production changes, firms and countries with lower value-added activities can only rely on the static competitive advantages. In addition, less developed countries and small firms that do not have the ability to meet the requirements of lead firms from developed countries is excluded from the global value chain. And lastly, when scale economies linked to supplier capabilities are crucial, especially among global contract manufacturers in electronic and first-tier suppliers and assemblers in automotive, this makes it more difficult for small firms to access the value chain.
There are two issues pertaining to VCA in execution, which are employment condition and inter-firm relationship. First, employment conditions has been given little attention by the researchers previously. Some people assume when firm is upgrading the value chain, the labor condition automatically will be improved. But for firm that is focusing on reducing costs, will disintegrate the condition of their labor. Also, unequal power relations in the firm might affect the labor's condition. This happens when there is low association power, proceeding with opposing capital-labor relations and little public work guidelines. Next, inter-firm relationship is the relationship between the firm with its buyer and supplier. In value chain, there is interdependence activities where the performance of one activity will influence another activity. In other words, the supplier's activity may relatively impact the buyer's activity in terms of cost and differentiation. This relationship enables firms to easier locate in which activity consume high cost and lead to effective and efficient VCA. However, there are some issues might arise in collaborating with buyer and supplier. First, exchange of sensitive information lead to raise of concerns on their bargaining position and about data overflows to competitors. Second, fair division costs and benefits. There must be collaborative decisions on these two constituents. First, the investment must raise an adequate rate of return according to risk associated, and second, the partners need the possibility of getting a decent amount of the benefits. Third, appropriations of investment to be made in specific assets. When investment is made in specific assets, the firm must ensure that the assets will not be appropriated by other parties. In conclusion, despite the complexity of VCA in real world, VCA is a practical tool for firms in improving their value chain and increasing their profit margin.